He said Black history should be American history, and I said, but it's not.
But it's not.
It's separated.
It is American history to me.
It is, but I'm talking about.
But it's not delivered that way.
Yeah, how they deliver it.
They take Black history out of American history and separate it and give you the American history minus the Black influence or the Black impact. I think that's the major issue, because you can't tell American history, unfortunately, without including Black history within that. It's all in one and the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's not taught that way.
But to separate it for somebody like me, a dummy.
In school, they go from slavery to Martin Luther King.
Pretty much.
And how'd that make you feel?
When I was young in school, I didn't think none of it. I was just trying to pass my test.
Exactly. How'd that make you feel?
But
slavery and all that. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't.
Not that I didn't think none of it. Of course, I felt like it was fucked up. It was wrong. But that's how they present it to you. Oh, this was wrong, but everything's okay now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's not. And then they whitewash that when they go over it. The way they present the history is definitely watered down, and it doesn't give a lot of key information, key facts of how things actually happened. And now when they're like, hey, 2022, we're now like, hey, include that in schools. They're like, no, we don't want to include that. Why? Why can't we talk about it?
Guilt.
Talk about what? Slavery?
American history.
American history. Okay.
We don't have to talk about slavery as a single incident or a single point in time.
Right.
Talk about the American history and also talk about the parts that include slavery. Don't leave those parts out. Is all I think people are saying. Because when you do that, you give a skewed look on what I think America was, and what America is today. And I think that's why it's important that we discuss these things. You're right, guilt. They don't want to talk about it because it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's fucking uncomfortable. But let's talk
guilt
about
for what? How long ago did that stuff happen?
Hey, hold on.
How long ago that stuff happened?
Slavery, official slavery, yes. But dog, we just came out of segregation. Like, it's people alive that was still part of segregation.
Yeah.
And what is
like? Hold on.
Is your main point is trying to advance people by teaching them this? I'm just asking you.
Hold on. You can't know where you're going unless you know what you came from, bro.
Yes, you can, because I don't know where I came from or care where I came from, but I know where I'm going.
It's important, but maybe not for everybody.
That's
maybe
what I'm
everybody
saying.
can't function that
all
way.
that black shit, that's a waste of time. It's a waste of fucking time. It kills your mindset, and it turns you into a racist.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I don't waste my time with none of the black shit.
Hey, yo, I'm not a racist, but I'm well aware of my history, bro.
Racism still exists, though.
It does. And just because we don't acknowledge it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
They just want you to be okay with it.
That's all. They don't want to feel uncomfortable about it.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it because they still want to implement it.
And the more people they can get to say fuck that history shit, the easier it is for them to go.
But see, that's not all what I'm saying. I'm saying forget all the history, worry about the individual, build your skills, and watch how much you can care less about your history.
But school don't,
because you see what you're building.
School don't teach you the things we feel like we should be taught, though. But they teach.
Right.
They could not teach black history the way they're supposed to, but they still gonna teach you white history.
Correct.
The way they want you to believe it.
Correct. So why discuss any history then if that's the case?
Right.
That's the point. You can't have one without the other.
If you're gonna talk about history, then when we was growing up, we was fucking not worshiping, but for lack of a better term, we was worshiping Christopher Columbus for discovering America.
You was worshiping him.
I wasn't worshiping him, but that's how they tried to do it. Like they try to teach us that Christopher Columbus was the one.
You know what it is? I'm not trying to be combative, yo. And I'd be serious when I tell you guys, no homework, D student, all the time. I never cared about none of this stuff. And I feel like almost like because where I'm at now, I'm glad that I did.
But that's not the point. You could not care about it. But the point is that
what's the point?
The point is that they don't want to teach us black history properly, but they will teach us white history the way they want to manipulate it. They want to manipulate history. So, like he said, then don't either teach it the right way or just don't teach it. Because we all know if we had school the way we wanted it to be, we would be teaching a lot more different things that our children could use in the future to be successful. But we have to do that on our own. You know what I'm saying? Don't teach history then. Don't just take out black history and take out slavery and stuff like that.
I'm just saying, if when you separate the people like that, it makes, especially for the black people, what I've seen growing up in the hood. I didn't realize I grew up in the hood.
We grew up in the hood, so that's a unique situation.
But what I'm seeing is all it did was create a crutch for my people. It didn't help people do anything. The fact that I dismissed all of the Black History Month, I dismissed everything my teachers said because they were fucking haters. Because I was a class clown, they hated me. They didn't like me. I dismissed everything they fucking said. And I knew the only thing this world is about, I mean, of course, for men, is providing and making money.
Okay.
And I that can suck. I get it. But that's what I'm built about. Black History Month, Black History, Black this, Black Lives Matter.
But how you
feel, to worry about none of that shit.
But how you feel doesn't have anything to do with what they're teaching in school, though. You could feel that way, but in school they're not teaching the history the way it really happened. So we're just saying, stop trying to take away the Black history and still teach white history the way they want us to learn it.
History should be like gym class. They should start teaching.
I mean, I agree.
I'm
not the biggest fan of history class myself.
Finances is more important. Teach classes about credit.
Listen, they don't teach that to the kids. But what I'm saying is, I don't care about history class either. But they still gonna teach it though. They're gonna teach it how they want us to perceive it, not the truth. And
you know what I'm gonna tell my kids about when they come to Black history and everything? Don't worry about none of that shit when they talk about black people. They always try to do that shit. You're just as equal as everybody else. And that's what I'm gonna implement in their head, because guess what? I'm their father. So right. Daddy says, I'm just as equal as you. And as long as I build my mind up, I'll be better. Because if all I do is decide to build my mind up and build my skills, I'll be better than you. That's all I'm gonna teach. I don't care about that color shit.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
You could be
ain't
green.
Nothing wrong with that.
You could be green. If somebody that's green is working harder than you, building their mind and building their skills, they're gonna be better than you. Bottom fucking line.
Okay.
You don't believe?
That's all.
You don't believe your kid's gonna have a disadvantage?
What do you mean?
You don't believe your kids will have a disadvantage in life?
No. I'm not teaching them for that shit. I'm not giving no excuses.
I ain't say are you teaching them that. I'm saying, do you believe it?
No.
Don't think
so?
Do
I believe I have a disadvantage? Ask me.
Do you?
No. If somebody had my mind, that'd be dope. You gotta convince me I got a disadvantage, bro. Seriously, you gotta convince me.
You don't believe in white privilege?
You gotta convince me. I already said that.
No.
I don't.
No.
I get everything I want.
I believe in it. Me and him had this discussion all the time.
Bro, I get everything that I want.
We rock this
I get everything that I want.
Time.
I get everything that I want. And if I don't get it, it was my fault somehow, making me develop more skills.
You gotta work harder, bro. Period.
I don't think so.
What I told Ron is, because when it comes to this issue,
you know why? I'm sorry. You know why you gotta work harder? Because the advantage white people had for 300 plus years, right? You gotta work extra hard so that you could build a foundation for your family and your kids.
Not true.
When there's tons,
how is it true?
Listen to me. There's tons and tons of white people that are already ahead of you because they had a head start in life.
No,
that's privilege.
No, that's not. That's what you think the story is. Listen,
bro. There's families. There's descendants of slave masters out there that just been handed down.
Can I go?
Generation to generation.
I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm not successful. It has nothing to do with the white man or anything.
That's what you think.
Look, hold
man.
on. No, it doesn't. I'm a D student. I don't apply myself. Hold on. I'm not finished. I let you go. I never applied myself when I went to school. I didn't do none of those things.
That's a smaller scale.
No, but what I'm saying is my success.
You didn't
cutting me off now.
You may have not had to apply yourself.
Oh my God.
If you already had.
Let me ask you
where
this.
Your parents came from.
Go ahead.
Look, where your parents came from, where your grandparents came from.
Don't care.
Redlining, right?
It matters.
Right.
Don't care.
Your grandparents and their parents, right?
What's that got to do with my credit score right now?
Listen to me. I'll tell you right now. Your grandparents.
Don't care.
You don't care, but I'm going to say it. Your grandparents and people before that, when they were trying to come up in America and they couldn't get loans and they couldn't get houses and they couldn't excel in life, but then they put drugs in the community and all this and made this is where the hood came from. As opposed to the privileged people who already was handed down property and land and was already wealthy because they already had the advantage in the past. You're only here right now because your ancestors couldn't get it. You're starting from a level that the privileged people, they already started up here. You're trying to climb up there.
Fernando,
They already started up here.
I'll let you talk without saying anything.
Am I wrong?
Listen.
Go.
I don't care.
You don't have to care, though.
No, now you cut me off again.
Go ahead.
I don't care, because guess what? Guess what my ancestors are right now? They're dead. Hold on. They're dead.
That has nothing to do with it.
I'm not living for them, bro. Listen, I'm not living.
That's not the point. Go ahead.
How hard is it to keep your credit score correct? You talking about it so hard. How hard is it to keep your credit score correct? I don't care what nationality you are. How hard is it to keep your credit score correct?
It's not hard.
Okay, how hard is it, I don't care what nationality you are, to live below your means so you can have opportunity to do stuff with your credit score? How hard is that?
How long ago?
Is it harder for a white person
let me ask you something.
to do that?
Let me ask you something. How long ago? Let me ask you something. How long ago did it take you to realize that getting your credit right is easy? How long ago?
I started.
How long ago?
I say about 24, 25.
So what? 10 years? Less than 10 years?
Right.
All right. 10 years. Okay.
So?
That opposed to people that was already handed that down through their bloodline,
Why
bro.
are you worried about that, though?
I'm not worried about it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what privilege is, and you don't want to hear it.
Listen,
you talking about something different.
You go
first. You're talking about how you don't care because you're gonna work just like me. I'm gonna work myself into success, and I'm gonna be able to say to give my family a different life. And silver spoon and all that stuff.
Right. How is that?
All right.
But how is that
I'm
privilege?
telling you, if I was someone that was privileged because I was given everything because of the color of my skin, then I wouldn't be having this discussion with you.
Yo, bro, that is bullshit. These people.
It's not bullshit.
I know so many white people that don't have as much as I have, and they have white skin.
It's different.
They are not given anything.
It's different, bro.
Yo, you gotta show me. Hold on. I need a white person to come on here and tell me, like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, Ronald. Because I'm white, I got this stuff. Now, I've heard a couple.
You got quite a bit of them now to tell you that.
But big stuff, man.
Big stuff. Big stuff, son.
Because they're white, I just don't buy into it. And because I don't buy into it, bro, I get successful because of that stuff.
I don't think
it's because
just because you don't buy into it doesn't make you
how
not
to be
real,
financially educated.
Which
That's
is
important.
Fine. Which you're right. But just because you don't buy into it doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because you don't buy into it doesn't mean people are getting shot just because they're black. Just because you don't buy into it doesn't mean people aren't getting loaned properly because they're black.
Come on, I don't believe that shit.
Oh my god.
How you not getting a loan because you're black? Listen,
this guy is fucking delusional.
Can I ask you a question? Fact. If you're black with a 700 plus credit score and your debt to income ratio is what they're looking for, you telling me that there are people that are black that don't get loans? Hold on, Fernando.
Go ahead. I'm gonna answer
You mean to tell me that happens? I know banks personally.
If Ronald goes into an establishment, all right, to get a loan,
I don't gotta go into the establishment. I can call them on the phone.
All right, but if they have a choice between you and some clean cut looking white dude. And you know,
the white dude called on the phone too. What are you guys talking about?
Bro,
this is all on the phone. You know what you are? You are a number. You are a number. All of this black and white shit is bullshit.
No.
You are a number.
That's what they want you to think, bro.
Oh my God,
they want
man.
you to feel...
Today, racist people are
talk to these white people all the time.
Today, racist people are still the majority of the decision makers, bro.
Correct. Most of them is fucking
I'm not saying you can't get the loan and stuff like that, but racist people are the majority.
I would ask you guys to
are
not
decision makers.
No, I would ask you guys not to adopt that way of thinking.
Hold on.
Bro, I'm just telling you my opinion. That's not gonna affect me. I'm still gonna do me regardless. I'm gonna fight for mine.
And what do you do? You're financially educating yourself. And as you're doing that, don't you feel more powerful?
But why would? But
now, hold on, real quick. Now, as you're financially educating yourself with what you're doing, because I know you're doing your day trade and everything. As you're financially educating yourself, what about your skin changes what you're doing? What if you were green? Could you still do what you're doing if you've been reading the books and doing stuff online? Because I'm telling you right now,
it's not about that.
When I talk to banks, I got banks that I have relationships with. I don't even know what they look like,
bro. If you think,
but the credentials,
you're wrong.
They see my credentials. They see my credentials. So they see my credentials. They see the credit score. They see the debt to income ratio. You know what they say? I'm gonna fuck with him. It don't have nothing to do with me being black or white.
You're talking in the smaller scale of things, though.
It's levels to this shit.
It's levels to it.
Well, guess what? Most of the levels that people need to worry about is the smaller level then. The one that I'm on right now. That's what they need to worry about.
I get what you're saying.
They can build themselves just by financial education.
You're not wrong. Financial education will help everyone. All he's saying is that, listen, we're all in a race, right? But yo, it's fucked up that
we started late.
I feel like I'm competing with you because we shoulder to shoulder in this race, but you on lap 30. I'm on lap 2.
And you could still win if you work hard enough, but you were given the disadvantage.
And hold on.
They made you start 1 minute after everybody else.
And you find out every once in a while, as I change my baton to my other runner, one of his boys just tripped my man on the low with nobody looking. Every once in a while, it could happen. It doesn't happen often, but it happens. And that makes my race just a little bit harder. I'm not saying I'm not going to train as hard. I'm just saying, yo, it's fucked up.
Yep.
That's cool.
And you can still make it, and you can still win.
I can still say
you can still win the race.
Hey, look,
but we just saying
I understand
you were given a disadvantage because most people will not win the race.
I understand
you may be somebody that's going to win the race, but it's okay. If Ronald win the race, it's okay as long as these 30 other dudes didn't win the race because they had to start late.
And let me say this. Like, also, we have to understand that, yeah, we got to work hard as fuck, right? But it's a lot of those cats who didn't have to work as hard just because.
But that's where I was going.
Just because it's a lot of, and guess what? It's a lot of those cats who aren't even as qualified as us, who's not even as educated as us. But since they peoples got it, they got it by default.
Well, that's where I was going with my point, especially for blacks. We always crying about stuff like that, right? And what I say is, and this is the deeper way of thinking, because if the whites got it so easy, right? The knowledge that they obtained came from silver spoon stuff, right? If the black person obtained the knowledge through education, experience, trying, you know what I mean, failing, he's a lot more equipped than the white person.
Let me give you an example.
Not necessarily, but black person has got to decide to say, look, I'm gonna go through this.
An entrepreneur.
I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna go through the gauntlet. Once that black person gets out the gauntlet,
let me say
they're way more equipped.
Check this out.
Than a silver spoon person.
How many black owned gas stations have you ever seen?
I ain't going to no black gas station.
But that's not what I asked you. How many have you seen?
He's
I haven't
racist.
seen it.
Okay. You know why? Because they're not selling to black people. Where the gas coming from? They're not. They got to connect. You go there as a black.
Let me give you an
gas
example.
Station, they're not selling you the gas from there. That's the racism right there.
Let me give you an example. Ronald's still not gonna give a fuck.
No.
I'm gonna give you an example. Let's take any of us in this room. If we wanted to go to Yale, if we work hard enough, we'll get to Yale. Once upon a time, you can't go to Yale unless you was white.
Correct.
So all those generations that were able to go to Yale, for example, they went to Yale. And when you go to colleges like that, you gain connections.
By default.
Now, your son goes to Yale, right? Now, he is able to be a CEO of this company because of the relationships they made.
Correct.
Now, his son is able to become a CEO of the company because of the relationships they made.
Correct.
His son, don't say anything. His son is able to become a CEO because of the relationships they made in Yale. Now, we can get into Yale, right? But we're starting now. Those people have 3, 4, 5 generations of connections, which makes them already rich and have an abundance of money and just have all the privilege in life they want. We're here now with still having racism, but we could get to Yale, we could build some relationships, but they already been doing it for 5 fucking generations.
Correct.
That's what I'm talking about.
Correct. That's what
you were not given the opportunity for those relationships. You got to go work at KFC. You got to go work at McDonald's. You know, you could work your way up today. You could work your way up to be whatever you want, right? But you still have a late start.
So what?
Those people, it's not you saying because when you talk about a topic, you change it, bro. You change it to how you feel about your life right now, and the fact that you feel like you can obtain whatever you want in life.
Right.
That's not the fucking discussion.
But what I'm saying is
that the discussion. Hold up. The discussion.
I only can talk about it from my point of view.
The discussion is that fucking Billy has 5 generations of people that went to Yale before we were even allowed to step foot in the place.
Jamal is sitting there bitching. That's the discussion. And I'm saying Jamal.
That's not the discussion.
I'm saying that Jamal.
The discussion is that Jamal was put in a position to bitch. Because
no, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. Jamal is bitching because he decides to bitch.
Bro, why was
Jamal
his parents? Why didn't his fucking family? You're talking about something else. Why why didn't Jamal's family go to Yale? Why doesn't Jamal's family know the CEO? Why can't Jamal's family?
Jamal's family's
Why
not
can't Jamal's family?
Why?
Why
Because they
can't
were fucking
listen
slaves.
to me? Why can't?
That's why they not fucking
Listen,
educated.
I
why-
want to go with the slaves. They're not educated.
It's not about-
They
You don't
decided not to
understand.
educate
Segregation. We're not talking about.
Just happened,
Listen
son.
to me.
No.
Jamal's
My nigga,
family.
we
Look at the black community
Jamal's-
music, bro.
Jamal's family.
Come on,
Listen
bro.
to me.
Get the
Jamal's
hell outta here with
family.
that bull.
Yo,
Hold on,
listen.
white people music.
Bro, hold up. Jamal's family doesn't know any fucking millionaires because they weren't fucking allowed in that type of circle, bro.
Unless they were cleaning.
So there's somebody exactly. There's people out there that just got to make a phone call and say, "Yo, my son, he's going to Yale. I need you to hook him up." Now he's making millions of dollars. Cool, we gonna get there.
Yo,
but we are just late.
Where are these people, bro? I'm serious,
Running the
yo.
fucking world in Yale.
Where are these
They're not
people?
next door. So you know what?
Bro,
Because they're not next
I'll
door
tell you right
around
now.
them. That's why.
Look, I'll tell you right now. Let me say
Damn, you guys are worried about people you can't touch.
Take Trump for example. You feel me? And don't fact check me about the amount of money I'm gonna say, right? Trump will say, I came from the bottom. I'm from New York. My father gave me $100,000 loan. Whose fucking father has $100,000, bro?
Fact.
Why does his father have $100,000? His father was a fucking KKK member.
Fact.
And you think KKK members don't get a pass where they need to get a pass to have $100,000 to give Trump?
It's no big deal. They were
Bro,
educated. They
if
knew what
I
to do.
ask
They knew
my
how to
mother
get to
for
obtain
if I ask
$100,000.
my mother for $100 today, she'll find it and give it to me. But it's gonna be like, all right, so I'm gonna give you this, but I need it back because I gotta pay my insurance. He talking about he came from the bottom. White people, not all white people, but the majority of them, $100,000 loan. You're gonna tell me you came from the bottom? Your family, his family, already had the lineage of white privilege because when they were becoming entrepreneurs and becoming rich, minorities were not even allowed to fucking do anything. At once upon a time, people couldn't, minorities, let's just say black people, right?
Couldn't own property.
Couldn't read.
Fact.
Were not allowed to read. They were not allowed to fucking read if it wasn't the Bible.
How long were they allowed to read in the 90s, bro? Were they allowed to read in the 80s?
Bro, by
Were
the
they allowed to read
time
in the 70s?
by the time the
I'm asking
90s
you a
came,
question.
by the time the 90s came, they already are fucking
allowed to
5
read in the
steps
60s?
ahead.
Were
This
they allowed
guy's
to read in the 60s?
this guy's fucking ridiculous,
No,
bro.
I'm just saying is we making excuses for no reason.
Because
We're
you
not
keep
making
changing
no
the
reason.
You
We're
keep
not
changing the
making
I'm
point.
sorry. It's hard for me to
In the
it's hard for me
90s,
to
listen to me. In the
feel for that.
90s, you are already behind fucking 5 or more generations. That's what we're trying to tell you.
You got to remind me because I can't tell. That's all I'm saying.
This motherfucker's delusional.
Yes, I am. Then.
But again,
If that's the
fucking
case.
delusional.
Ronald is basing everything off his personal experience. So if it didn't happen to Ronald, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
If it's not his neighbor, it's not happening to nobody. And I keep trying to tell him these issues.
He'll give a
are
fuck about his
larger
neighbor. He
than
talking about
his
him.
Immediate circle.
He
bruh.
think if he didn't have privilege, you think he would be where he's at right now?
Privilege.
I'm saying if you have privilege, if you were born in privilege, if you were able to be those
if your
people,
father had 6 businesses.
you wouldn't even give a fuck about social media or podcasts, bro.
But I wouldn't be where I am now. I don't want to change that though. I'm happy.
You don't have to want to change it. That's not the point. This guy just keeps making points that doesn't fucking matter. What the fuck? It doesn't matter.
Here's the thing. The thing is.
This guy is a gaslighter.
Here's the thing.
Very much
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This world, this life, like a video game. I say it all the time, right? All of this black, white. In my philosophy, I don't worry about none of that. I build the individual up because it just doesn't matter. If I'm better than you, no matter what it is, if I'm better than you here, I'm going to win. Because guess what? I can make that person more money. Or I
Bro,
can make myself more money.
Let me tell you something.
I don't care about none of this color shit, man.
Let me tell you something.
I
My
don't.
mother came from Puerto Rico.
Right.
My mother came straight from Puerto Rico. All right. Puerto Rico has a lot of sugar cane. All right. I don't know what sugar y'all use, but you got Domino's and all this bullshit. Bro, America went to Puerto Rico and took all the fucking sugar cane plantations from the Puerto Ricans
Oh shit! Really?
and paid them like cents just cents a day to fucking harvest them and to chop them up or do whatever they want. So you mean to tell me that didn't affect my people in Puerto Rico?
Fact, generations.
They took it from them. Puerto Rico has sugarcane. America went over there, took it from them, and now the sugar that you buy today, those big brands like Domino's and stuff, owned by American people, but they basically slaved the Puerto Ricans to do it for them. They took it from them. Do you understand me? What I'm saying? Wait, hold up. I'm gonna let you make your point. They took it from them. So all the opportunities that they had to become wealthy and to do whatever they needed to do in Puerto Rico was snatched away from them. You know what else they did?
What?
They started aborting babies from women on the low.
Oh shit!
Really? If you read up on Puerto Rican history,
right?
America went over there and fucked up everything for them.
But hold on. I respect all of that. But
I'm just saying. You can't. So when my mom came, you know, my mom came to America. She moved out to like 18th Street in Irvington, Newark. Why the fuck couldn't her family be wealthy?
No, I get what you're saying.
No. You don't get what I'm saying. Why wasn't she wealthy?
Well,
why? If she was wealthy, she would have been teaching me about credit. She would have been teaching me about credit, about money, how to make money. All the shit I'm doing to my kids today would have been happening before my mom. So when my mom came to America today, I would have been way more off.
How old are you?
36.
Okay, it doesn't fucking matter. Because 30 years ago, they could have did whatever the fuck they want to do. 20 years ago, they could have did whatever the fuck they want to do. So it's your fault for not getting it.
That's Ronald's mentality.
It's your fault for not fucking getting it.
That's Ronald's mentality.
They had at least 30 to 40 years to figure their shit out.
Right.
And say, fuck America, fuck me over. And figure out their own shit.
It does, and I see what you're doing, but it does matter because if they would have had the equal opportunity to become their greatest selves, hold on, my mom would have came to America with money. She would have taught me about. It's not about complaining. He changes the goalposts. I'm not complaining. I'm gonna be wealthy and I'm gonna be successful.
Right. That's it.
All right, but I'm late.
No, you're not. How are you late?
Bro, I'm done. I'm leaving.
How are you late?
Hold on. I'm not leaving.
You're late because you're going by whose timeline? Whose timeline are you going by? Are you late? Are you late by Fernando's timeline? Or are you late by the timeline
bro,
you feel that society is set for you?
I'm late at the timeline of the advantage other people had, aka white people that came to Puerto Rico and took everybody's shit. That's what we're talking about. You keep changing what we're talking about. All right, let's have a discussion. Can you be successful today?
Yes.
Are you going to have disadvantages?
Yes.
Is that going to stop you?
No.
All right. Then we all agree on that.
Right.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that the things that happened to our fucking ancestors put us in a position where we have to now scratch and claw to get where we need to go, as opposed to those people who have 5 or more generations that are already at the top.
I used to stick my neck out just for them to turn around and want to see me bled out. Gotta keep an evil eye, they try to put a hex out. None of you can match the quality, you feel like threat count. Used to have a lot of fucks to give, now I'm fresh out.